Wrong intro. Allô, bonsoir. Ooh, child. Wrong intro. Listen. I'm a little rusty. I've been sick. I ain't filming like maybe 2 weeks or whatever. So, you know, we a little confused. And some of y'all be confused, I heard, okay? A lot of y'all stumbled across this channel. Y'all stumbled across my other channels and y'all all think it's one channel. Y'all see me on my bed or whatever? No, you're on the AnavyEmor channel, okay? Different scenes. You see different intro. You see different things on the screen. Come on now. How y'all gonna think y'all? Anyways, understand you have to be subscribed to all three. If you're not subscribed to all three, what are you doing? Do you not like me? Do you hate me? Do you want to fight me? Let me know. Square up, pull up to the PO, and maybe one day you'll find me. PO is down below if you want to send me anything. You know, I'm just letting y'all know, okay? But for today's video, we're gonna be talking about the first and the last time I got fired from a job, and it was actually my first job out of college. And if you guys have been following me for a long time, I'm talking about like OG subscriber, you would have heard me talk about this story on a live stream on my main channel that's actually still up. I will link it down below if you guys want to watch it. I'm thinking about starting a whole series about like just the worst jobs I've had, because I feel like these experiences are really important to talk about, because we are not our parents, we are not our grandparents, we are not our great-grandparents, we are not taking no shit from nobody. And I'm very happy a lot of people out there are now quitting their jobs, leaving jobs, have no problem being fired from jobs where they're not being treated fairly, or they're wearing multiple hats that they're clearly not being paid to wear, okay? So this story is gonna be a lot, so grab your tea, grab your snacks, grab everything you need. And while you do that, we have to give a huge special thanks to this channel's first sponsor, Ana Luisa. Now I know y'all seen the bling as soon as y'all clicked on this video. I know y'all seen it, and I know y'all loved it, okay? Y'all, I know you lying if you say you ain't like, I know you lying, okay? This jewelry that I have on, from the bracelets to the earrings and the little Y necklace that I have on, is from Ana Luisa. Now Ana Luisa is a jewelry company, but not just any jewelry company. They are a sustainable jewelry company, and even better, they are high quality, and their jewelry starts at just $39. So for $39 you could be a bad D, okay? When I'm telling you bad D, okay? Like the stuff on their website is incredible. Like I loved it. I had such a hard time picking. Like I'm not even gonna like it took me a good amount of days. I was like, I want this, I want that, I want that. I am not only a partner, I am a customer, I am a fan. I love it because their silver and their gold is not just regular silver and gold, okay? It's glistening, okay? You could see this gold, it pops, okay? Like it's not just your standard run-of-the-mill gold jewelry, silver jewelry. Like no, well, you see it, you can see down the block, like, hey y'all, I see you. You see it, okay? Like I love this jewelry. And what's even more amazing about this jewelry is I tested it, and it is tarnish free for real, okay? I wore it for about 3 weeks straight, each piece, in the shower, to the gym, in the sun. I did everything you could possibly think in this jewelry, and it did not tarnish. It still looks brand new, like it just came out of the package. The clips that you've seen, all of that is literally after me taking a shower, me going to the gym, etc. This is not it just coming out of the package. I'm shook, okay? Like I was shook. I was like, yo, not one little bit of tarnish. Like it's so hard to find good quality, affordable, tarnish free jewelry that is sustainable, okay? Ana Luisa is it. So if you guys are interested, make sure you head to their website right now. It is on the screen, and of course we already know we got a special code to hook y'all up, the Mademoiselle 10. Use that at checkout for a 10% discount off your order. That is the Mademoiselle 10 for 10% off your order. So if you guys already got your tea and your snacks ready, let us commence the nonsense. So like I said, this story is fairly old, and I definitely did tell it on my main channel during a live stream, and I decided it would make more sense to tell this in a sit down story, mainly because I know I forgot quite a bit of detail. This does deserve a sit down video, and as you guys have saw from one of my most recent vlogs, I've been revisiting a lot of past experiences, past trauma, past wrongdoings and things like that, and this one definitely crossed my mind. Like, I I felt like I was really done wrong and I probably should have done something about it. I should have spoke up more. But I genuinely was not in the right state of mind emotionally or mentally to even do anything about it. And I was so done with that job that I really didn't even care to fight for it. I'm telling you this right now, okay? So this story takes place 2013, okay? So such a long time ago. I'm no longer upset. I'm not mad. I don't have a vendetta against anyone. I'm slowly making this story to help you guys not make the same mistakes that I made, and also so you guys understand the red flags at a job and know when to run. Also to understand if you are going to be the only black person in an office, understand the microaggressions, understand when you're probably being discriminated against or when extra work is being put on you, because this is something that I've actually heard about happening a lot after the fact that I never took into consideration. And also if you've been fired from a job, right, or if you know ever just been mistreated at a job, for you to understand that you are not alone. Okay, I feel like a lot of people tend to feel like, oh, woe is me, it's only I. Like, no, you're not alone. I've been fired before. The Mademoiselle has been fired from a job. I hate to admit it, but I've been fired from a job. Like, that should be making me mad. That's probably why I didn't really want to sit down and do a video about it, because I think I was kind of embarrassed the first time it happened, but it is what it is, bitch. Because now we here with it. Anyways, let's get into it. So I graduated in 2017 with a mass communications bachelor's with a concentration in broadcast journalism from Broomfield College. At this time, I did not have my master's. My master's was nowhere near on my mind. Public relations was nowhere in my mind. What was on my mind was being a radio host. I wanted to be a radio host by all means necessary. I loved radio. Radio was my niche, and so was social media. And that is what led me to starting my first YouTube channel. Well, continuing it, because I've had that channel since like high school, but I just picked up where I left off because I wanted to have an edge over, you know, everyone that was in the mass communication realm, that was in my classes, and just in a general sense. Because one thing you need to understand about mass communications and journalism, just that field in general, is that it's disgustingly competitive. You should have your own platform. You should have your own shit going on, because when you go into these interviews and you go into these meetings and these networking events with people that literally have the same degree as you, and all you have to show is, oh, I had straight A's, I joined a couple of clubs, and this is my major, they don't give a fuck. What do you have? Do you have a platform? Do you have a business? What do you do? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get ahead of the game. I'm gonna do YouTube. So at least if this don't work out, this works out. So that's what I did. But at the time, my time frame was, at the end of the day, if I do not get a job in New Jersey in something deeply radio related, I'm going to move down south or out west. Because another thing, for those of you guys who are watching who are mass communication journalism majors, if your teachers haven't told you, you should definitely transfer, because your teachers don't give a fuck about you. You're not gonna make it in journalism if you live in a top city, okay, or close to one. So like New Jersey, New York, Chicago, Miami, Cali, even like Texas, for real. All of those bigger markets, it's impossible to penetrate, especially if you've just come out of college. You don't got a platform, you're not doing nothing, you just a regular college student. And I'm not saying that to discourage any of you, because clearly anything can happen, but like, let's be real, when you look at the radio hosts now, you will never ever in your life hear any of them say, I just got out of college last year and now I'm on the air. And if you do, they're probably in fucking Milwaukee, in some town. Is Milwaukee a town? Milwaukee's a town, y'all. They're probably in Milwaukee somewhere, okay? They're somewhere in a small city in Idaho. You know what I mean? Like, you have to move to a smaller market, a smaller area, a smaller demographic in order to make a name for yourself, in order to establish yourself and move your way back up. So that was my plan. But I needed money to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a job out here, most likely in New York, because like I live very close to the train station. They pay better in New York anyway. So, and I was living at my parents' house. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna get a job. We're gonna just fund whatever I have to do, because I have to get to wherever I have to get, okay, by any means necessary. I'm gonna get a radio job. Like, I was so focused on I'm going to be a radio host. Like, it was insane. Like, that was my goal. Now I really don't care. Like, if it falls in my lap, it falls in my lap, but it's not something I'm chasing anymore. So I ended up applying for a multitude of different jobs, and I ended up stumbling across a e-commerce e-commerce startup media company, and we're gonna call it trash media because that's what the fuck it was. Trash. And I'm not even saying that because they fired me. They were utter basura. Okay, so pay close attention because like I said, it's a lot. Get your tea, get your snacks, everything ready because it's so much going on with this fucking company. It's ridiculous, and it's insane how they're allowed to operate under the guise of the shicey things that they're doing. But I find an ad for trash media for a copywriter position. I apply. They reach back out to me within a week or whatever, and I go into the interview, and it is a black gay man who was interviewing me. And I was so happy because first of all, I love me some color. Okay, I love seeing another black person in, you know, corporate level, in startups, and just like interviewing me, it makes me a lot more comfortable. I don't know about y'all, but it does make me a lot more comfortable. And two, he just had a very amazing personality. Like, he was really cool. He made me real relaxed, and he was a really good like interviewer. Like, that's actually one of the best interviews I've ever had. He really liked me, liked my vibe. I believe I was invited for a second interview, and then they gave me one of those like practice tasks, I guess, to test my ability as a copywriter. And they asked me to write a copy ad for a product that cures eczema. Keep that in mind because it's important for the rest of this video. I have eczema. I've had eczema my entire life. And it's funny because a lot of people don't really believe that I have eczema because I'm one of those lucky people where as soon as I have an eczema outbreak and it like passes, it goes away completely. Like, you can't even tell that I've had eczema. But I have eczema, guys. I even have some right now on my neck, and I promise you it's not from the necklace. It's literally, it just comes and goes. Oh, I did have some cheap, but like I literally get eczema like just all over different places in my body. It goes away, comes and goes. So writing this whole thing was a little weird because there's no cure for eczema. Okay, I'm just gonna write it because this is a practice thing. It's not really going anywhere, right? If something's impeding on your morals, if you feel like something's not right, if you feel something's not okay, if you feel like something, then just run. I should have ran. I should have said I revive dirty hoes, okay? But I didn't. Okay, I didn't. I wrote it, and I honestly, I kid you not, it's probably actually one of the best pieces I've ever wrote. I should have saved that shit, but I have no interest in being a copywriter. One thing about me, as much as I have so many grammatical errors, and that sometimes I be saying a lot of things wrong in videos because I talk fast, like that's really because of my ADHD or whatever case may be, I am a very good writer. Okay, like when it comes to like actually writing, I'm a very good writer, but I hate to write. I hate to write, I hate copywriting, but I'm just very good at it. So I submit my piece, they loved it, and I got hired on the third interview, obviously, right? So I'm thinking, yes, it's lit. I believe the job paid about $50,000, probably a little bit more. I'm not even gonna stunt because there was a lot of incentives and bonuses. You took home way more than $50,000 an hour, okay? You were not just taking home 50, you was taking home way more at the end of it because it was a performance-based job. Now, I'm telling you right now, they kept this whole interview process extremely vague. They didn't tell me what I would be writing copy for. They didn't tell me what type of copy I'd be writing. They didn't tell me who I'd be working with or anything like that. And I'm gonna say this right now, that's my fault. Take it from me. If you won't have a job, fresh out of college or not, whether you're 16 or 66, always go into the job and ask, who am I working with? What does this job entail? What is the 9 to 5 like? What is the 10 to 6 like? Whatever. What is the regular work day? When are our lunch breaks? Who do we report to? What exactly are my specific tasks and duties? Because if you don't, you'll walk yourself into some shit. And that was me. I dog walked myself into this shit, okay? I was into this shit. Like, let them do. When I tell y'all the amount of shit that I went through in this job was just unbelievable. It was like mental warfare. So I start within a week or whatever. I show up looking all zapper like I does or whatever, looking like a brand new bid that's finally making money, you know, finally, you know. I mean, I wasn't broke or whatever. I found that job like maybe 2 months after I graduated. So it was not like I was like struggling for cash, right? But it was just like I was so happy to get a job, like basically straight out of college, and it was like in New York, and it was in the WeWork building. Now, if you guys are not aware what a WeWork building is, it's basically a huge co-working space. It's extremely expensive. expensive to be in a WeWork office, yo. I was shocked that this company was even paying to be in a WeWork office. I'm like, why don't y'all just have your own office? That I don't understand. But I mean, eventually they did get their own office. That's why I have no problem saying that they were in the WeWork office, because they're nowhere near there now, like at all. But we were in the WeWork office downtown Manhattan, like literally like right by the water. Okay, so I pull up, I'm looking all nice or whatever. I'm thinking I'm about to get a tour, a greeting, some muffins, some coffee. I pull up into the room and nobody acknowledges me. Like no one. It was just HR, and we're just gonna call him HR for the rest of this video, by the way, because he doesn't really need a name. He was barely there. Okay, it's a couple of men, maybe like I would say like maybe 8. I'm just gonna give it that number. It was probably a little less than that, but like say 8 men. And I realized I'm the only black girl here besides this HR guy. I'm the only black person here besides the HR guy. I'm the only woman here. There's no woman here. What in the actual I said, wait. So I'm just looking at a bunch of old white men, some young white men, but barely. Like I was so confused, y'all, because I was just looking around like, what the fuck? And none of them even looked up to acknowledge me. Like they was just, and I was like, okay. So I go, HR is like, okay, so here's your seat, and he gives me my MacBook. So we all got a MacBook at this job, which was super duper great. That's what I used to edit a lot of my YouTube videos, because my MacBook was crashing all damn day. My old MacBook was very unreliable, so that was like a really good perk. So one thing that you guys need to keep in mind when it comes to these startup companies, you have to be extremely careful. The perks are really nice, the money seems really nice or whatever, but they are very cutthroat. They will fire you in a heartbeat. The turnover rate is disgusting. Okay, y'all think Amazon's turnover rate is bad? Oh my god, try a startup. Okay, I don't think anyone can beat Amazon though, but startups have a really bad turnover rate as well, and that's mainly because they're not really always as sustainable as businesses. A lot of them are just churning out, you know, e-commerce type products or short-term products that a lot of people don't necessarily need. So with that being said, I sit down, I just get on the laptop, and now the CEO comes up to me, and I didn't even know he was the CEO at the time, and we're just gonna call him Arthur. And Arthur comes up to me with a book, and he's like, read this book, and I need 20 titles by 3 o'clock. Now this job was 10 to 6. I believe by this time it could have been like 12 o'clock, because I had to do this whole onboarding thing, like sign papers, get my laptop set up. It was the whole thing. So I think it was like 12 or 1. And he's like, oh, I need these titles by like 3. And I'm like, okay, what about? And he said, a product that cures baldness. And I said, a product that cures baldness? That's not possible, because everyone's very much so different. You can't just drink a magic pill or spread some magic fucking, you know, shit on your head and abracadabra, you're looking like a chia pet. That's not how that works. So I mean, clearly I didn't say that, but in my head I was like, okay. I just did it because I wasn't really thinking, but like in my back of my mind I'm like, okay. So I just start writing the titles. Mind you, no hello, no how are you, no welcome to the team, do you want a muffin, do you want a shot of vodka? Nothing. Here's this book, give me 20 titles. Rude much? Now this is the thing, I don't like small talk. I actually hate small talk, especially when it comes to text messages and emails. Get to the fucking point. Do you need a sponsorship? Do you need $20? Like, I don't like when people hit me with small talk, but when it comes to in person, you have to be fucking kind, especially when you just hired somebody. Okay, you gotta be a little nice. Okay, so dude is just like being mad, like, ugh, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Write the titles. I think I got them done within an hour. He's like, oh, that was fast. Okay, looks at my titles. Why are these all woman-based titles? Well, you weren't specific. You just said hair loss product. So, I mean, I'm a woman, so I guess I just wrote them based on women. Well, the product is actually geared towards men. Okay, mind you, now everybody looking up. Everybody's like, so now 20 titles assignment becomes 40 titles assignments, becomes 50 titles assignments. I'm not really doing any like major copywriting, which I mean, it's just titles. It's not that bad. I'm like, okay, I can do this. It's just titles. And I'm like, where are these titles going? So then apparently I'm seeing that these titles go to ads, and that's what these other guys are doing. They're basically ad managers or ad analysts people, right? We had Gemini, which was Yahoo. We had Google ads, and then I forgot what the third, oh, Facebook ads, right? And then of course there was pictures that had to be sourced with them and all of that. It was a whole process. So I had to write the titles, then I had to deliver it to those teams. They had to run the ads. It was a whole thing. So I'm writing the titles and I'm thinking, okay, this is not bad. Y'all paying me what, 50K plus a year just to write some fucking titles? Now listen, 50K a year is okay. It's not extravagant, but it's okay. But when you not living by yourself, you just living in your parents' house and all you gotta do is pay like regular bills and maybe student loans, that's phenomenal, okay? So I'm just like, shit, y'all pay me 50K a year to just write some titles, shit, count me in. Oh no, this isn't Yvana story time. You already know the bullshit came. You already know. Did you buckle in? Did you get your tea? Did you get your snacks? Because I don't think you got it yet. Go get it. Go get it now. I need to go drink my water. So now, shit started getting a lot. Now, you know, from 20 titles to 30 to 50. Now I'm having to write about 100 titles a day, which is a fuck ton. 10 to 6, I could get it done. But you know what really was the issue? The meetings. We had about 3 to 4 meetings a day. So day starts at 10. We probably had a meeting at like 11:30. Then we had another meeting at like 1 o'clock. Then we had another meeting at 3 o'clock. Then we had another meeting potentially at 5 o'clock. I have no fucking idea why we had all these meetings. It made absolutely no sense because everything that was said at these meetings could have been said in a Slack group chat or an email. I can't stand when somebody has me on the phone or someone makes me meet with them face to face for something that they could have easily said in a text message or an email. And that's the type of shit that these people were doing. This is not just once a week. This is every fucking day. And what made this worse is you didn't know these meetings were happening unless you had your phone on you 24/8. And then they didn't want you on your phone. So it was like, if you on your phone, what are you doing on your phone? But then it's like you have to be on your phone to stay constant with the babysitting that y'all was doing and having to be at these constant meetings. So whatever. Now I gotta be at these meetings and do 100 titles. Okay, that's not that bad. No. Now they're like, Yvana, would you be able to take minutes at every meeting that we have? I'm a copywriter, not a secretary. So I'm like, minutes at the meetings, like all fucking like 10 of them that we have every day, the one that we have on hour. I was like, a minute? He's like, yeah, you know, we have to keep track of what's being said at these meetings. And that was because there was a whole thing where like Arthur started arguing with one of the analysts. It was a whole thing. And basically the analyst was like, you said I could do this, but now you're saying I can't, and now you have a problem. Basically, Arthur had this whole thing where he liked to micromanage, okay? Now, when have you ever heard of a CEO actually being in the office? Exactly, you don't, because usually they're booked and busy. And if they're not booked and busy, they're somewhere on a motherfucking yacht. Arthur liked to micromanage everybody. Arthur was always there. Arthur was always up somebody's ass. Arthur was always in somebody's mouth. Arthur was Arthur a lot. Arthur would always argue and pick fights with people, say that he wanted to do things or say that you could do things that you couldn't do, but if it wasn't in the email, if it wasn't in the Slack, if it wasn't written down, he would say he didn't do it or he didn't say it if it didn't go well. But if something went well, if something was a accomplishment or whatever or a win, he would be like, yeah, that was great, yeah, I approved that, That's what he did. And yes, you're the CEO, I guess, but like, don't be sitting here dragging people and coming at people and saying people are this, that, and the third when you're the one that let them do these things, and then when things backfire, all of a sudden you want to act like you didn't approve them to do these things. So that's when he's like, oh, Yvana, could you just take minutes and make sure that everything that's said in these meetings are actually put on paper and then sent to everyone after the meeting? And I'm like, so I have to write my I have to write my 100 titles. I have to show up to these 10 million meetings, and then I have to do the minutes and send them out to everyone. Cool, that's not that bad. Then they introduced me to the task management system. Now, you guys are probably like, a task management system is supposed to make life easier. Why I go into this task management system and there's over like 500 tasks that haven't been completed? They just sitting there collecting dust and accumulating. And I'm just like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? Oh, well, you're supposed to, you know, clear it out, see what's done, see what's not done, you know, and delegate the tasks. And I said, delegate the tasks to whom? Oh, well, you know, you are now going to be the director of the creative team, and we're going to introduce you to the people in India, and you're going to have to direct them as well. This is like within 2 weeks of being there, guys. Okay? If you feel like the story's moving fast, that's because the job was moving fast. This shit was moving faster than a hoe on Tinder. I said, hey, you want me to do what? What the fuck? I I said, I'm going to be managing the creative team. It was like, yeah. I said, what team? I'm the only one here. There's like, oh no, in India, they have a whole team. So I need you to manage them, give them tasks to do, give them work to do every day. You know, just like how you have to do your 100 titles. I need you to give them work to do as well and make sure they get their work done. So I said, in my mind, I'm like, do I have slave written on my forehead? I didn't know I was a slave. I could have swore my ancestors did that for me already. I could have swore they done suffered, died, and did all of that stuff that they were supposed to do for me already. Like, I could have swore like I am not back in the 1700s. Like, I'm like, it's 2017. Like, I'm not a fucking slave no more. Okay, I know a lot of y'all like to say that we're not free. We're not free. Bitch, I am free. Okay, I am free. And I'm free to say, hell the fuck no, I am not doing this shit. Like, this is not fucking possible. Like, how do y'all want me to do all this work? Like, what? And then on top of all of that, as I'm writing the minutes and stuff, Mr. Arthur had a problem with the minutes. Oh, I don't like the way these minutes are. These minutes don't tell me nothing. Da, da, da. Mind you, there's a standard, like, is it Robert Law of Order? I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? There's a way minutes are traditionally written for a meeting. And that's how I wrote the minutes for these meetings. He didn't like that. He said he can understand it. I don't know what there's not to understand, motherfucker. You can't read fucking English. He's like, oh, I don't understand this. You have to find another way. I don't like this format. I said, well, is there a format you would prefer? I don't know. Figure it out. So I'm just sitting here like, is this nigga fucking serious right now? How you gonna tell me to figure it out when you don't like something? Why don't you just tell me how the fuck you want it done, bitch? But anyways, whatever. Moving on, right? So at this point, I'm overworked. I'm stressed and I'm tired, okay? Because this is a lot of work, okay? To do in a 10 to 6 time frame, it is a lot of work with all those meetings. And then I have to send all those meeting minutes out after I really like type them out, format them and everything like that. It was insane. And then working with the Indian creative team, it was even worse because they did not want to do their work at all. They didn't take me seriously. They didn't take anybody in America seriously whatsoever. There's also teams in India running the ads and stuff. So it was like basically our office was cloned in India, but they had like way more of them. So it was like all of them India was barely doing anything. But they wanted me to basically be a project manager and babysit all these motherfuckers and make sure everybody was doing shit. And then even in New York, they had asked me, oh, could you check in with everybody and see what they're doing? You know, make sure that they're actually doing their work on time and you know everything is getting to everyone as it should. What I look like? A mammy? A mother? A madre? Madre? Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like, yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, at this point, I had no time to write my own shit. Okay, I had no time to do my own work because I'm doing everybody else's work and making sure they're doing work. That is when the Lord answered my prayers. And we got Dustin. Okay, we're gonna call him Dustin. Now, Dustin, I'm gonna say he came from like Tennessee, Mississippi. He came from like one of them southern places. Those are both southern, right? I'm very sure I didn't do well in geography in school. But anyways, he came from like one of those states or whatever, right? And he was so cool, so nice. Really, really, really nice white boy. And he was also college educated. Me and him, the only two college educated people in that entire place. Everybody else was getting paid bank. Didn't have a college education. So this is why I always say, you do not need to be college educated to be successful. You do not need a college degree to get a good job. But I ain't gonna stunt. Those people definitely did get that job by chance because that company is a real anomaly. And like I said, it is trash. Okay, it is royal basura. So we're gonna get into the shit that they had us writing and the products that they had us writing for and why this became such a big fucking mess. Okay, so they had us writing products that cured diabetes. They had us writing products that, of course, like I said, cured baldness. They had us writing for products that cured cancer, that would make you lose weight within a week. All types of just gimmicky products that made absolutely no sense. And of course, what you guys are probably thinking is, okay, well, you can't sell these things in America. That's false advertisements, especially if you're running ads on these things. They're gonna get immediately taken down. No, ladies and gentlemen. We were gearing all of these ads to India because Arthur is Indian. The other team, like I said, is in India. And Arthur didn't care about his own people because Arthur said numerous times, people in India are dumb. People in India will buy anything anything. And the Indian government does not regulate anything that comes in and out of the country. Therefore, they're free to do whatever it is that they want. They've made like that is a multi-million-dollar startup. It's insane. Literally made off the backs of selling garbage. Like, he would literally laugh at the fact that these Indian people were sitting here buying these products that did absolutely nothing for them because they thought that it did something for them. Like, I'm not joking. It's literally what this man would say. Like, we would be in meetings and we would like be talking about, oh, what the next product would be and what we're gonna do, what we're gonna this, and he'd be like, it doesn't matter, these stupid Indians are gonna buy it anyway. I don't know what type of like self-hatred he had within himself or what was going on with him. Never asked, never wanted to, because he was just such a bitch. Okay, he was just such a bitch. And then everyone in the office was just so afraid. Okay, like it was like they were afraid to talk. I thought everybody was just so rude. I really did. I thought everyone was rude. I thought everyone was just hostile to me because I was new. Come to find, it was Arthur. Okay, they were afraid of Arthur. They didn't like his attitude, and Arthur's presence made everyone tense. When Arthur would leave, everybody lose, everybody happy. There was beer in the fridge. Everybody would kick up the beers and be like, like everything was lit. And I'm like, this is, y'all are completely different. Like, okay, you guys is lit. I like this. You know, like they were really, really nice. Like they really did treat me like their little sister. I'm not even gonna stunt. Like those men were super duper nice to me. Like they created a nice work environment when Arthur wasn't there. But it was like when Arthur was there, it was like a switch went off. And I can't necessarily blame them because Arthur was very, very like scary low-key. And if you didn't get your work done, child, you had hell to pay. Like you had hell to pay. If you was working from home or whatever case maybe, you had hell to pay. Like he was gonna catch an attitude with you. It was really, really hostile. It really was. And Arthur had this thing where he would be like 6 months in office, 6 months back in India. That's the type of shit that he would do. So like for those months that he was in, like it was just so tense. And then the months that he wasn't, it was just so free and everybody was all happy. Everybody's kicked up and da-da-da. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a problem. Dustin comes in, and Dustin is literally my right hand man. Okay, I love me some Dustin. Dustin comes in and he picks up all my slack. He's like, oh, you don't have time to write your titles? I got you. Okay, he writes all my titles. Loved it. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, you guys brought another copywriter. You guys love me. You really, really love me. Like you guys like saw that I had so much work and you wanted to alleviate the work so I could focus on my work, you know. So Dustin comes in, he's like, oh, I see that you're really always in these meetings, you're always running around, you don't have time to do your work. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna do your titles for you. Okay, you know, India, yeah, they're giving you problems. I got you. I'm gonna handle it. I understand you have to write the minutes for this meeting. I got you. Yo, all the slack that I couldn't pick up, Dustin was picking it up for me. Dustin, you a real one. Okay, so I was so happy because I was like, yo, I finally have some help. I finally have somebody to alleviate some of this pressure, and I was finally able to get my work done. Before that, I was not able to get my work done in a full work day, and I was getting yelled at for it. Like, and it made no sense because it was like what, my 3rd or 4th week there, and then it's like, how the fuck y'all yelling at me for not getting shit done when not only was I never trained in anything, but you guys just started dumping work on me out of nowhere. That's another thing when it comes to like startups and stuff, like they move extremely quickly. You know, like you're not gonna have time to breathe. You're not gonna have time to like really learn much. A lot of times you gotta teach yourself for real. So a lot of times they really do hire people that just like know shit. Like if they gonna hire a copywriter, they're gonna hire a copywriter. They're not gonna hire somebody else. That's why I was kind of shocked that they hired me. Like, yes, I know how to copyright, but I don't do ads. Shit, I do ads now because I have that experience, but it's just like I'm not an ad copywriter, you know, but I am a good writer. So I guess that's why they took their chance with me, and I was really damn good at what the fuck I was doing because y'all. Anyways, so basically, you know, everything's going well. With me and Dustin, we got this shit down pat. So like I said, they had all these gimmicky products that they were selling to people over in India, and they would always think about different products. So their next one was gonna be like a fuzzy face mask, which we do see all the time now. At the time, that was like barely, like still a very new thing. The foot peel thing, they wanted to sell that. So I guess they wanted to go more into like cosmetics, you know, and test the waters with that. But they had an e-commerce person, right? And that person lived in South Jersey. I have no idea what the fuck possessed them to hire somebody in South Jersey when we're in New York. South Jersey from where I live at is already a good hour. I have no idea what they thought. The hiring somebody from South Jersey to come to New York what logic they thought that would make, because it would take that person about like 2 hours to get there every day. Nonetheless, that person was like an e-commerce like designer, developer, I guess. So they would come up with the ideas, they would test the ideas and basically run the ideas through the IT team and the ad team, and they would push it over to like the Indian intro or whatever and see what bites or whatever, and then they would go formulate the product. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, probably not, but that's basically how the process would go. Something happened with him and Arthur. I don't know if he wasn't working fast enough. I don't know what happened, but they done fired homeboy from South Jersey. So instead of hiring another e-commerce developer, what do? They take my Dustin from me. They take my Dustin and they put Dustin as the e-commerce developer. So he's no longer a copywriter, he's an e-commerce developer. He didn't switch titles. No, ladies and gentlemen, he did not switch titles. They just made him copywriter and e-commerce developer. And no, they didn't give him a raise because I asked. I personally don't understand this fucking bullshit. I was like, hold up. Y'all see me struggling. Y'all see me going through all this bullshit. And instead of trying to fucking help me, for real, y'all take the person that was helping me and put him in a job that's 10 times more stressful than this one, and then keep his title to the same title that I have, make it make sense. Both trying to do this copywriter shit, while me being a fake project manager and him being a fake e-com developer, because this shit don't make sense. I'm not a project manager. He's not an e-com developer. Both of our degrees was in like fucking communications, bro. So we're just like, what is going on? Like, yo, when I'm telling you it was a hot fucking mess, it was a hot fucking mess. So at this point, the ship starts to sink, okay? Okay, we can no longer float because the work is getting insane. That task manager is just mounting and mounting and mounting, okay? I can no longer effectively take minutes at those meetings because I cannot sleep. This is also around the same time where I was telling you guys these whole stories about my parents taking so much money from me and not paying bills and things getting cut off, and then I'm not eating, and then my cousin's over there and not paying the rent and all. I had so much going on. It's just like, it was so difficult. It really was. And then they're sitting here trying to launch different products and different phases in the middle of all of this caca-foolery that's going on. And it's like, why are you guys trying to launch products? Meanwhile, we're sitting here and we're still trying to push these products. Then he started to be like, you know what, you know, we need a different direction. We need a different this, you know, maybe we should launch websites for all of these products. So what does he do? It brings on a web designer. We're gonna call the web designer Aaron. Aaron was legit web designer. We're not talking about Wix. And so we're not talking about Wix. We're not talking about WordPress. We're not talking about Blogger. We're not talking about fucking Tumblr. We're talking about a legitimate website. Like, he built websites from ground up in JavaScript. Okay, like scripting websites. And if any of you guys know anything about that, you would know that to build a website from scratch, ground up, JavaScript, all of that takes an immense amount of time. Like, I'm talking about weeks minimum, and that's if you're really good. It could take months, okay? And he wanted this as an e-commerce platform, like where people could actually check out and shit. And he was doing the most. He would sit there and like badger Aaron all day, every day. It's like Aaron first got hired and he was sitting there like, is the website done yet? Arthur, the man just sat down. And it was crazy because like he wanted all types of things, like things moving on the screen, this on the side, colors over here, blah 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 blah. And it was like, bro, we don't even got the scroll yet. Like, this shit don't even got a sidebar. Relax. Like, let him get the base frame first. And Arthur just started getting really impatient. On the front end, we were making really good progress as the creative team. So the creative team was me, this new guy Aaron, and of course Dustin. And we were making really good progress, apparently, according to Arthur and according to HR. Okay, we were making a lot of money for the company. Of course, we were getting our bonuses and our incentives and things like that. So it was great. Like, we felt really good. We was patting ourselves on the shoulder like, yo, we was doing real good work, okay? Like, they were saying, yeah, you know, you're making us so much money, these titles are really amazing, and they're really driving the clicks, and people are buying, blah blah blah. We never had a creative team this good. We never had a creative team last that long. Y'all, when I heard we never had a creative team last that long, I said, I need to get the tea. I want to know what happened to the last copywriter copywriter for real, because we weren't there for that long. At this point, it could have been 3 or 4 months. So I'm like, I said, all right, we gonna find out. So of course I'm gonna go ask HR, because you know, we stick together, black people, we stick together. We always gonna tell each other the tea. So I said, hey yo, what happened to the last creative team? What happened to the last copywriter? He told me that the last copywriter was a girl, and she cursed Arthur the hell out because Arthur came at her. And I said, why didn't I ask this shit when I was being hired? But then again, would they have told me that is the question. I don't know if Arthur would have told me the truth. He probably would have just been like, oh, it didn't work out, you know, the regular HR type of, you know, answer. So I was just sitting there like, oh my god, okay. He's like, yeah, and then the team just disbanded. Everyone just ended up quitting. Yeah, it was a whole creative team, but then everyone just left. Some got fired, but everyone else that was left just left. And I was like, huh. He was like, yeah, this wasn't too long before we hired you. And I'm like, so of course I ended up telling Dustin, I ended up telling Aaron. And the thing is with Dustin had just got a ridiculously expensive apartment in a very expensive town. We're just gonna say Weehawken. It wasn't Weehawken, but it was close to Weehawken. So if you know anything about like these border towns, like these towns that border New York, they are expensive. Like I'm talking about rent starting at like $2,600 for a 1-bedroom expensive, okay? And you gonna have to still share amenities and shit. So it's like, he was not trying to lose this job. He was like, I need this job, I can't lose this job. Like, so he started to panic. Like when I told him, and I told him, he's like, but I need this job, I can't lose this job. Like I can't, like I just moved here from Kentucky, Mississippi, Tennessee. I can't remember when the fucking where it was, guys, but he's like, I just moved here, I can't lose this job. I'm going to hell if he actually still watches my videos, because I know he was subscribed. But it was just like, yeah, like it's okay, Dustin. It's not that fucking serious. Like it is that fucking serious. Because why would you come here and rent an apartment that's like fucking $2,600? You gonna like not get an apartment that was yo, I'm going to hell because that shit wasn't funny. Like that, I actually sit back and I look at it, I'm like, that's not funny at all. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing. But me not. That actually wasn't funny. Oh my god, I'm sorry. It actually was. It was ridiculous. Like, yo, he was really scared. Like, he was like, oh my god, like, we could get fired at any given moment. We can't do anything wrong. Like, the creative team is the only team that's always rotating. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess. But like, you know, they said our performance is good. I think we'll be fine. It shouldn't be an issue. Then we have the Indian team being the Indian team. Now the Indian team, they didn't like being held accountable, okay? They didn't like people telling them what to do. They didn't like people giving them work. And it didn't make sense because from what I understand, Arthur is very disrespectful to his own people. So I would think that he understood that his own people were definitely lying, because every single time we gave them work to do, they didn't do the work. And then they would sit there and say that we were lying about them not doing their work. But it's like, how are we lying about them not doing their work when there's no fucking work to show? So that's how it would go almost every day. I would give them work, Dustin would give them work, and they would not return any work. So say there's like maybe 5 different copywriters on that team, right? We would give them maybe 20 to 25 titles to return to us each day, which is 100 a week. I had to do like 100 a day. But anyways, they had to do 100 a week per copywriter. There was maybe only 2 or 3 of them that always consistently gave in their work. The other ones never gave me anything, never answered my emails. They would just act like I didn't fucking say shit. And it's like, who are you talking to? I like, who are you not talking to at this point? Because you're not answering my email. I'm sitting here getting in trouble because y'all not doing y'all work. The freaking IT team is confused because they're like, well, why are we not getting enough titles? Because like, y'all need to understand, they weren't just running like ad like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were running like at least like 50 ads per day. Okay, so if I gotta write 100, then Dustin gotta write 100, and then all of them have to write 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, whatever. And then there's like at least 4 or 5 of them on that ad team or whatever. Those titles are running through quickly. So if someone's not doing their damn job, it's going to be very, very noticeable, okay? Because you guys are running at least 50 ads a day and someone's falling short, you're gonna have to end up reusing titles. So in one of the meetings, it came up that, oh, performance is starting to drop a little bit. And Arthur's like, looking at me, why is performance starting to drop a little bit? Oh, well, the Indian team, they're not doing their work. What do you mean the Indian team's not doing their work? Why don't you tell them to do their work? Why don't you get on them? You have to get on these people. I told you, you have to get on them. You need to tell them to do their work. I'm sorry. How many kids do I have? Well, you guys are my children, right? I love you guys. You guys are like my kids, right? But out of my womb, how many kids do I have? None! I ain't got no damn kids, Arthur! I ain't got no damn kids. What do you mean I ain't telling when you do what? What do you mean? I said, I was like, yeah, it doesn't work. Listen, I'm not chasing them. They know what they have to do. Their work is given. Oh, well, do you give them work to do? Like, do you give them a timeline? Do you like assign it to them? Do you use the task manager? I was like, well, the task manager has over like 500 plus tasks on it, and I don't think it's viable. What do you mean it has over 500? See, this is now he starts going off, and I'm like, it came to me like that. It was like that before I got here. So I've been trying to clear it out, but it's taking some time. And you guys got me doing other stuff. So he's like, well, you need to clear it out. You need to make sure the Indian people do their work. And you this. Father Arthur. First of all, I'm not your fucking child. But at this point, since you want to talk to me like I'm your child, Father Arthur, sit the fuck down. Like, what? I don't understand how I'm supposed to make grown-ass people across the globe do their fucking work. It came to the point where me, Dustin, and some people on the IT, ad team or whatever, came up with an Excel sheet where we would put all the titles in there, and then they can pull the titles on their end. The creative team in both India and the United States can put the titles on their end, so nobody would have to communicate with each other. I ain't gotta talk to you, you ain't gotta talk to me. You already know your assignment. If you got a question, email me, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. But as far as your titles, put them in the goddamn sheet. Leave me the fuck alone. IT analyst team, y'all need y'all titles for your fucking ads, pull it from the damn Excel sheet. That's it. Okay? And all we know is when it comes to analysts, when it comes to IT people, when it comes to ads, they know Excel. So they were so happy to make this damn Excel sheet, okay? They made the Excel sheet for us. They made it work. They made it so that we could put who wrote the title, who put the title there, what time it was inputted. Like, it was such an intricate thing. Before we did this, we asked Arthur, hey, can we do this? Me and Dustin thought of this idea where we were going to make a sheet where everybody could put their titles, and the IT team could go get their titles. We can put the titles in when we make them. Indian team can make the title when they make them. Everything's accessible for everyone when they need it. No one has to bother anyone, yada yada yada. He's like, oh yeah, that's a really, really good idea. I think it's great. That's what he said. We make the sheet. The sheet's ready in like maybe a week or two, guys. Like, it wasn't that long. The sheet's ready. Everybody's starting to use it. Indian team, bipolar. Indian team having problems. Oh, the sheet's not working. The sheet don't work. We can't put our names in. We can't copy and paste our titles in. I don't understand what's going on. I understand what's going on. You don't wanna do your work. Simple. So now they start pissing me the fuck off because I'm like, it's not that hard. Go to the sheet, copy, paste, drop, find your name, click, done. It's not that fucking difficult. Like, when I'm telling you guys, it was the easiest thing you've ever fucking come across. Like, it don't make sense. That's all you gotta do. Put in your title, put in your name, leave it. Now Arthur's coming to us in the next meeting. Why are the people in India saying that the sheet don't work? They're saying it's too complicated. Why is it not working? The sheet works just fine, Arthur. I don't know why they're saying that. Here's how it works. Here, look, this is how it works. It works just fine. It's been working all day. It never stopped working. Maybe we could try to simplify it a little bit more for them, but like, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, we need to figure this out because I'm tired of them complaining. The way he talked was just like that, like just forceful, disrespectful, whatever. Days later, I don't know what crawled up his ass. I don't know if he didn't get no ass. I don't know if somebody stole his ass. I don't know what happened. He came to work. All of a sudden, we had a meeting and he's like, oh, well, the Indian people are still complaining about this sheet. Who the hell said that y'all can create this sheet in the first place? We've been making millions of dollars without you guys, before you guys, and you guys coming here being cocky with your attitudes, changing things around here, thinking you know better, This is the calm way. Okay, I gotta do it the way he did it. Let me do it the way he did it. Who do you guys think you are? You guys coming here thinking you guys are the shit, thinking you guys are all cocky or whatever, changing all our things. We've been making millions of dollars here before you guys were here. Now you guys come in here changing everything like you have right. Who gave you the right? Mind you, he'd spit coming out of his mouth, everything. And we're just like, Dustin is really like Arthur. Like, he's trying to call Arthur. I love me some Dustin. Dustin was so like just calm, collected, and he's like, Arthur, listen, you said that we can do this. We did this for everyone. We saw that this needed to be done because it was so disorganized. It was hard for everyone to keep track of things. So this is why we did it this way. It was not to slay anyone. It was not a cocky move on our part. It was just to make things easier. Well, no one said that this needed to be done, and prove it. Prove it. I never said that. Prove it. I never said that you guys could do this. Prove it. My face is frozen. I I think I was just in shock and disbelief because I don't even allow my parents to talk to me like that. I don't give a fuck. I don't let anybody talk to me like that. My man don't talk to me like that. My parents don't talk to me like that. Shit, God don't talk to me like that. Nobody talks to me like that. So I was just like, I was in Confucius. Okay? Confucius, not confusing. Confucius. I'm perplexed because what in the what? Like, what's this going on? So he's like, Dustin's like, it was a verbal conversation. It was a verbal conversation. Oh, well, see, it's verbal. Therefore, it should have been in an email. Things like this, they should be in an email, okay? Yvana, they should be in an email. They should be in an email, not a verbal conversation. Because then things like this happen. I never said you guys could do things like this. Now everything's all fucked up. And he would curse too, guys. I'm not just saying, like, he would curse too. Like, now everything's all fucked up and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to understand who he's talking to because it's not me. He's not talking to me because he's not. If I only is. So at this point, I'm kind of frazzled. I'm a little shook because it's like, why are you screaming at us? Because we were trying to do something good for your fucking company, and trying to make things efficient for the people that don't want to fucking work, so then you can see who's actually doing their work. And I feel like that's what the Indian team had a problem with. Now you can see who's actually doing their work. All their names are next to their titles, and it's time stamped, you know, date stamped or whatever, so you could see who put what day, when, how many. So it's like they can't lie. And it was like, I feel like they just started saying things and saying things and saying things just to get us out. I swear to God, that's what the hell that was. Like, because now that I actually look back and think about it, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, you guys are telling me you can't copy paste and put your name on it? Like, what? And now he's sitting there talking about we're causing them to lose money because they don't know how to do it. If you guys really can't send your titles system, why don't you just email it to us the way you've always been emailing it? But instead of doing that, they just never sent work, y'all. Like, there was literally some people that like almost like never sent work. Like, the entire time we were working there, they probably sent me work like 3 times. Like, I kid you not. So it was just like, boy, like, you need to go check the Indian team because the Indian team's not doing any fucking work at all. I don't know why the fuck you baby these niggas, okay? It's not like you don't sit there and spend your most of the time talking shit about them anyway, but it's just like, whatever. So then a short time after that, I had some titles that I was writing, shockingly, because I never really had time to write titles or do anything, and I had pictures that I had to pick out because a lot of these ads, they had to have pictures as well for them, mainly for Facebook and I think Gemini. Google ads, I don't believe ever really had pictures that they put to them. So of course the Indian team fell flat on that. They never delivered the photos they were supposed to do too. So they had a good amount of work, but not really, y'all. Like, their day, I believe, was a little bit longer than ours too, and they would never deliver shit. So I remember something happened where like the team, the IT ads team or whatever, they were like, yo, we really need pictures, like, can you please get us some pictures? And I was like, you know what, let me just do that. And then I was writing titles, so I was like, it was a lot going on. I just got fucking screamed at, and then I wrote some titles. I don't know what happened. It was like a punctuation missing, a comma missing, something happened, y'all. And they sent it, to be honest, I have no idea how that happened, but I had sent it in for review, and I guess one of the owners of the company saw it. So it was not only Arthur, it was this other guy that was working there, but also was like a partner in the company. He saw it and he was like, oh, well, if she's gonna write titles like that, then maybe she shouldn't be a copywriter, she shouldn't be working here. Off of a missing period or a missing comma. It was some shit like that, yo. Like, it was like something like very, very minuscule, and it was like, nigga, I would love to see your titles. Where's your titles? That's what I thought, bitch, because you barely ever here. You absolutely never here. You be home, which is where Arthur should be too. But Arthur could actually write titles. I seen his titles. I'm just fucking saying. You don't write shit. You don't fucking do shit. All you do is comment on shit and fucking drink. You a drunk bitch. But anyway, so I'm just sitting here like, what? So whatever. Next thing you know, I get called into HR office and I get fired. I remember it was on a Friday. And I got so annoyed because I was actually gonna quit on that Monday. And the only reason I didn't is because I had their laptop, and like I said, I was doing a lot of my editing on that laptop. And I was doing my editing on that laptop for my YouTube. I wanted to remove all my YouTube videos off before I gave it back, and I quit. So yeah, I got fired, and HR said he was gonna help me find a job, but he didn't. I mean, it's all good. I do have him on social media still. Like, we're all cool. Like, I ain't got a problem with him or anything. But it's just like, it's just real ridiculous how all of that panned out, because it was insane. It's like you tell people to do things and then they do it, and then all of a sudden you're mad at them, and you're firing people left and right, and you're moving people around, making them do jobs that are not their job. And it's like, listen, I'm not a fucking slave. I will not be treated like a slave, a modern day slave. I'm not an indentured servant, okay? You hire me for a job, I'm here to do that set job. I'll do certain things here and there, but that's about it. And a lot of these jobs, y'all don't understand that. Y'all can't just be having people do all of these jobs and wear all these different hats on a regular basis and expect them to be okay with that. That That is not okay. That is literally abusive. It's very, very damaging, and it's disrespectful. You're gonna get half-assed work. You're gonna get employees that are unhappy as fuck, that call out all day, or you're gonna have employees that more than likely just aren't going to be giving you the top tier work that you want, okay, or that your company deserves. Or you're just gonna have employees that sit here and make videos about your company just like this. I mean, luckily I didn't leak your name, but I should, and I could, and I would, but I won't. From what I understand, nobody really that I worked with there still really works there. I feel like Dustin actually stayed there for quite a long time. I have him on Facebook. I think he definitely quit after a long time. Like, he was there for like maybe years actually. I know HR don't work there no more, which was a shock to me because he seemed very, very loyal to the shit. He ended up working for like a really major company too. I was like, oh shit, okay, shout out to you. You know, so like a lot of them ended up moving out and working at different places. Really good companies at that. So like I said in the beginning of this video, that's not the end, okay? Just because you get fired from a job, just because, you know, you leave a job doesn't mean that's the end for you. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're spoiled goods or you're too old to apply for another job or whatever the case may be. You can find another job. You can get other opportunities. You could go out right now and apply for the job of your dreams and get it, okay? It's just a matter of how much you want it, how deep you look, and of course who knows you and who you know. You know, sometimes you can just stumble upon things as a matter of chance, because I got that one as a matter of chance. It did pay really well, although the experience was horrible. I did enjoy the people there a lot. Like they were real cool, and I did enjoy having a nice cold beer that was in the fridge waiting for me in the office after a shift. You know, it was very stressful, and it sucked being the only black girl in that office, just being the only black person. And I would only say the only black person because HR was never there, okay? HR was always in and out. He was always in meetings. He was always interviewing people. Like I count on one hand how many times he was there. So I was practically the only black person in the office. I was the only woman in the office, so the only black woman in that office. I was literally the youngest person in that office, and I felt like I was treated as like some sort of little mother figure thing. But it's like, y'all grown as fuck. Like, I should not have to babysit you guys. Like it was a hot mess, okay? Like that was literally probably the worst job I've ever had next to Amazon. And Amazon was horrible. We call that the slave ship, okay? But these people try to treat me as a slave as well, a startup slave. Okay, it was a lot. It really truly was. With that being said, let me know down below, what was your worst job experience? I would love to know. Where was the worst place that you worked? Why did you leave? How did you leave? I'd love to hear the stories, because I know there's gonna be so many good ones, okay? With that being said, make sure you guys check out Ana Luisa jewelry, like I said before, and make sure you guys check out my other two channels. Everything is going to be linked down below. Use my code Mademoiselle10 for 10% off your order. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, do all that, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye.